Help me reach 5,000 subscribers. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read everyone. Thank you. My wife texted me a link in the middle of a Wednesday meeting. A tiny leather purse that cost more than my truck's last repair. No, how's your day? No. Can we look at this together? Just the link and a heart. I typed back during a lull in the numbers. Kept it simple. Can't swing that right now. She answered in seconds. Then what kind of man are you? It's just a purse. This is ridiculous. I stared at it longer than I should have. Ridiculous was working overtime at a parts warehouse, paying rent, groceries, insurance, and still being told I wasn't doing enough. Ridiculous was her not working for a year to figure herself out, while I figured out how to keep the lights on. If I'd known where that text was headed, I'd have taken a breath, saved the screenshot, and shut my phone off. Instead, I walked straight into the rest. When I got home, the purse link was open on her laptop like a centerpiece. You saw my text? She asked without looking up. It's cute. Beige goes with everything. It also goes with the down payment on our sanity. I replied, dropping my keys into the bowl. We're not buying it. She finally looked at me. You're always so dramatic about money. No, I said, pulling a chair. I'm realistic about a budget I carry solo. Here we go, she sighed. Paul, it's a purse. You make it sound like I'm draining you dry. You don't bring in $1, I answered. I cover everything. And I'm not mad about providing. I'm past the jokes at my expense. She smirked. You're sensitive because your salary's small. That's not my fault. When you live off it, it's kind of both of ours. She flipped the laptop closed. So you're telling me no because you can't afford it, or because you don't want me to have nice things? I'm telling you no because I won't reward contempt. She laughed, short and sharp. Big word. Contempt. Here's another one. I added. Boundary. She rolled her eyes. Is this a lecture? Call it a memo, I said. New rules. I'll continue paying essentials. Rent, utilities, insurance, groceries. Non-essentials? Not on my card. If you want extra, you plan it, budget it, and earn it. I'll help you find work if you want. She crossed her arms. I'm not clocking in at some dull job just to make you feel like a man. Great, I shrugged. Then live at our means. Starting tonight. Or what? She shot back. Or I'll remove extras you treat like rights. The second card I gave you, for one. Her eyebrows jumped. You wouldn't. I just did, I said, laying the cut plastic on the table. I'd stopped at the bank after work. I'm not arguing. I'm informing. You're punishing me. I'm respecting myself. There's a difference. Unbelievable. Get on board. I added, standing. Or don't. But the pilot just changed the flight plan. She stared, lips tight. You're ridiculous. Maybe, I said, heading to the sink. But ridiculous pays the bills. She left the kitchen without another word. 10 minutes later, from the bedroom, a door latch clicked like a gavel. I rinsed my coffee mug and felt very awake. The link was still sitting in my phone. I didn't reply again. Thursday came with a new tactic. She went cold. Minimum words. Headphones on. Plates clattered louder than needed. At dinner, she pushed pasta around and checked her phone like she was waiting for an award. Aaron, I started. She didn't look up. Busy. With what? Don't do this, she said. I asked for one thing, and you turned it into a courtroom. No court, I said. Just math. Fine. You know what? I'll sell some of my stuff if it makes you feel better. It's not about me feeling better, I replied. It's about respect. We've been over this, she muttered. Drop it. Then Friday, I said. Tessa's birthday dinner? I'm not covering the table. I'll pay for my plate. Her eyes finally lifted. Don't you dare embarrass me. Then don't set me up to look like a wallet. Wow, she said, standing. You enjoy being miserable, huh? I enjoy not being poked for sport. She took her plate to the sink, clinked it extra loud, and left it there with sauce sliding toward the drain. When she walked past me, she whispered, I could do better. I didn't follow. I opened the budget app and moved the fun money I'd been saving for a weekend trip into a line called emergency. It didn't feel heroic. It felt responsible. New rule, new line item. The rest of the night was quiet. I slept fine. At the warehouse next day, Luis, who's been loading freight since the county had pay phones, caught me staring into a pallet longer than normal. You look like a man listening for a rattlesnake, he said. Home's loud for being quiet, I told him. She mad about something small, he guessed. So you made it big by not surrendering. I stopped paying for things we can't afford, I said. She called me ridiculous. That's not ridiculous, he replied, sliding a box down. That's being a grown-up. You don't train dogs by handing over steaks. People neither. I'm not training anyone, I said. He chuckled. Keep telling yourself that. Friday night, I drove us to Tessa's birthday at a noisy place with thin walls and thick menus. Dan, her husband, sells solar panels and talks like he invented sunlight. He likes me fine when I nod and laugh. We're doing bottles. Tessa shouted across the table before I'd unrolled my napkin. It's my birthday. Happy birthday, I answered. I'm doing food. Aaron squeezed my knee under the table, warning. Paul. Dan leaned in. Come on, man, it's a celebration. I'll celebrate my way, I said. Plate, tip, done. Tessa's eyes sparkled. You're kidding. Aaron's voice went sweet and sharp. He's careful. He has to be. Modest salary. Dan laughed like I'd told a joke. No shame in hustle. I put the menu down. No shame in boundaries either. Tessa flagged the server and ordered like she was furnishing a house. Aaron kept up the running commentary. What she liked, what she wanted, which brands looked good on Instagram even if they were, her word, basic. If she felt my jaw go hard, she didn't show it. When the check landed like a manhole cover, Dan stretched. Heroes always do. I got this, he announced. Cool, I said, sliding my card to the corner. This is for my meal and the tax. Thank you for the invite. Erin hissed under her breath. You're embarrassing me. No, I murmured, eyes on the server tallying lines. You tried to menace my wallet in front of people. I opted out. Dan chuckled again, louder, as if to smooth it over. All good, man. It is. I agreed, and left a cash tip for the server that matched my plate. Might as well be fair to the only person here actually working. In the parking lot, Aaron lit into me. You made me look cheap. I made me look like a person, I said, unlocking the car. It's contagious. You should try it. This is your thing now? She asked, sliding in and slamming the door. Act small so you feel big. My thing is living within our means and not being mocked for it. She snorted. You could just make more. I'm open to that, I replied. Meanwhile, the rules stand. She crossed her arms. You're impossible. Feelings are not facts, I said, pulling onto the road. But budgets are. Saturday morning, she staged a truce. Pancakes on the stove, coffee already poured. She met me in the kitchen with a tight smile. About last night, she said. I shouldn't have said the salary thing. You said it because you meant it, I answered. An apology is changing the behavior. Paul, she said softly, I'm trying. I sat, watched the syrup creep across the plate. Try by not making me the butt of your humor. I just want us to have nice things, she said. I grew up with nice things. I grew up with rent due, I replied. And even if I'd grown up in a castle, the math doesn't change. We have what we earn. She put a hand on my shoulder. I can look at part-time gigs. Do it, I said. I'll help with a resume. Her face brightened a little. Okay. We ate in a tentative quiet. After breakfast, she opened her laptop and scrolled listings like people scroll house photos they can't buy. I printed a simple resume template and left it on the table without ceremony. Around noon, she closed the computer with new energy. Tessa is doing a lake day, she announced. We should go. You just said you were going to look for work. It's Saturday, she countered. I have overtime, I replied. Warehouse is short. She frowned. Since when do you work Saturdays? Since I decided to increase my numbers instead of my complaints. You're really doing this, she said, almost amused. Okay, fine. I'll be back by 6, I added. If you want to talk about schedules, we can. Like adults. She poured more coffee. You do what you need. At the warehouse, Luis raised an eyebrow when I walked in. Family peace not so peaceful? It's fine, I said. I'm picking my lane. Good, he answered, then jerked his thumb toward the office. Christine wants to see you. Christine runs logistics with a kind of calm that makes men twice her size stand straight. She pointed me to a chair. Your numbers are up, she said, tapping the weekly. You want more responsibilities? Always, I told her. Good, she replied. We're adding a night shift supervisor next quarter. It's not glamorous, but it comes with a bump. Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate it, I said. When I got home, Erin had candles lit like a peace treaty. Chicken in the oven. Soft music. She met me at the door, arms around my neck. A kiss that tasted like the old days. You look tired, she said. Sit. I'm fine, I replied, washing up. Smells good. I want us okay, she said as we ate. I can be supportive. You can be respectful, I corrected. Support is extra. Respect is the minimum. She nodded, bit her lip, and changed the subject. Christine likes you, right? She likes results, I said. You're getting a promotion? She hinted there's a path. Erin smiled as if she'd won a prize. See? This is what I'm talking about. What's that? Potential, she said. You just needed a push. I let it pass. It was one of those sentences that tried to take credit for the sun rising. We ate in relative peace. She cleared the table without banging anything. It felt like progress until Tessa texted about the lake photos. Erin clicked through them, laughed at 3 I wasn't in, and went quiet again. The truce had a timer. I could hear it ticking. On Sunday, we went to Dan and Tessa's cookout. I shouldn't have, but avoiding social circles turns them into courtrooms too. Their backyard had more lawn furniture than grass. Guys clustered around the grill like it was an altar. Dan flipped burgers like he was hosting a show. Paul, he boomed. You ready to upgrade those wheels yet? Wheels are fine, I said. They're paid off. Boring answer, he grinned. Live a little. Living plenty, I replied. Within constraints. Erin slid next to Tessa with a seltzer and a face that said, watch this. Voices got bigger when the burgers hit the table. Someone started a game about best purchases this year. Mine, Tessa said, waving her wrist, was definitely the bracelet. Retail therapy is real therapy. I want a purse, Erin chimed in, loud enough, eyes on me. But Paul thinks purses are immoral. A couple of people laughed. Dan put on his commentator hat. Or maybe Paul knows math. Math is for people with mediocre salaries, Erin sang. Big salaries don't count pennies. I leaned back, met a few glances dead on. Big or small, it's our money. I'm calling how it gets used. Wow, Tessa said. Control much? Boundary, I answered. Erin raised her can. To boundaries. May they keep us basic. A couple of folks tittered. Dan tried to smooth it. Hey, let's keep it friendly. I stood, picked up my plate. The grill hissed. Somebody's dog barked at nothing. I walked to the edge of the deck where the trash bags hung and tossed the plate in. Then I turned back and didn't raise my voice. Here's the boundary, public edition, I said. I won't be mocked for how I provide. Not at my table, not at someone else's. From today, my contribution stays focused. Roof, utilities, basic food. Luxuries are self-funded. If that offends anyone's sensibilities, that's fine. Sensibilities are free. You could hear ice in cups. Dan scratched his jaw. Tessa stared. Erin smiled like a person showing teeth for a photo. You feel better now? She asked. Not yet, I said. But give it an hour. I left the deck and stepped out to the side gate for a breath of air. Luis would have loved that line. When I came back, Erin and Tessa were whispering with heads bent together. Dan handed me a lemonade like a truce offering. You okay, man? He asked. I'm great, I said. What you said, he started. I said what I meant, I cut in. It's a relief. We stayed another 30 minutes. Erin didn't speak to me on the drive home, then spoke all at once in the kitchen. You embarrassed me again. I backed you off me, I replied. Different act. She tossed her purse onto the counter like a gauntlet. You have to admit it's pathetic. What is? That we're arguing about a purse like we're broke. We're not broke, I said. We're responsible. There's a difference. She shook her head, then softened, almost instantly, as if she'd caught herself. I don't want to fight Paul. Then stopped turning me into a punchline. She stepped in, arms around my waist, voice small. I'm sorry. I paused. It sounded right. It also sounded practiced. For what? For making you feel small. That's not it, I corrected. You didn't make me feel small. You try to make me look small. Those are different. One's internal. One's a show. She let go. You know what? I'm trying. If you don't see it, I can't help you. I see it, I said. I just don't trust it yet. Monday morning, Christine called me into the office mid-shift. She didn't waste time. Corporate approved the new position, she said. Night shift supervisor. It's yours if you want it. It's a raise. Not a fortune, but real. I want it. I said the answer clean. Good, she nodded. It starts in 2 weeks. We'll start paperwork this afternoon. I texted Erin because sharing good news is part of being married, even when the marriage is limping. Got a raise. Night shift supervisor. It'll help. She replied within seconds. Lucky you. I was already thinking about leaving. This buys you time. I looked at the screen a long second. Then I typed, you were? Then don't cancel plans. She shot back a laughing emoji. Then, stop. You're being dramatic. Not dramatic. Simple. See you tonight. I put the phone away and finished the shift like nothing had happened. But something had. I'd received the final reading. I drove home on muscle memory and parked. The house looked the same. The mailbox looked the same. Even the little crack in the walkway looked like it always had. Inside, my mind clicked through logistics like a checklist. Clothing, toiletries, documents, keys. A man can dismantle a life quietly if he's already held it together alone. I wheeled out the 2 suitcases she preferred for our trips, opened the bedroom closet, and started folding. Not in anger, just order. Her favorite dresses went on top, shoes wrapped, bathroom items in zip bags. I placed the cases by the front door, set her tote on top with her charger and the silly planner she never used but carried to look busy. On the counter, I left her a small envelope with a list. Rent covered through the end of the month. Utilities already paid. Her name on the older car's title, the one we bought used when we got married. I had already moved my direct deposit to a separate account and arranged the company insurance to be employee only. I had called a locksmith earlier about the studio I'd be renting starting Wednesday. Paperwork? Tomorrow morning. I didn't need to give a speech. I needed to execute. When she came in, she saw the suitcases first. Her face did a lot of things at once. The laugh was last. You're kidding. No. You're packing my things. I am. You're out of your mind, she said, voice rising. This is a joke. You joked at noon. I answered, calm. This is a decision. You think you can just push me out? I think I won't live with someone who measures my worth by what I swipe. Unpack them. No. She stepped closer. Softer. Paul, stop this. I didn't mean it. You meant it enough to send it, I said. And you've been meaning the same thing for months. It was a joke, she insisted. Everyone jokes. Healthy people joke with each other, I replied. You joke at me. She reached for my arm. I didn't move away. I just didn't move. She let go first. Where am I supposed to go? She asked. Your sister, I said. Or Tessa. Or your mom. You have options. The car is yours. The rent is covered through the month. You'll be fine. I can't believe you're doing this because of a text. I'm doing it because of a pattern the text summed up with perfect clarity. She shifted gears like a driver on a hill. What about us? We can fix this. We can, I agreed. Separately. This is insane, she whispered. I was just playing. You're taking it personal. I took it as information. And the promotion, she said suddenly, like it had just landed. You finally get a raise, and you're leaving me? I finally get a raise, and you say you were planning to leave. I heard you. I didn't mean it. You meant the pressure, I said. You meant the ranking. You meant the way you keep score. Honestly, thank you. It made my choice easy. She stared at the suitcases like they could talk. Please don't do this. I'm not angry, I told her. I'm not punishing you. I'm ending a thing that's done. Don't you love me? She asked. I love myself more than the version of me who tolerates this. She swallowed. So that's it. That's it. The neighbor, Paula, walked by our open door with her small dog. She stopped, saw the cases, and pretended to fix the leash. She's in her 60s and has eyes that miss nothing. You two need anything? She asked gently. We're fine, I answered. Aaron fired a look. You love an audience. No, I said. I love a witness. Paula nodded once and kept moving. Aaron turned back to me. I can't believe you're doing this to me. I won't do it to myself, I corrected. I gave you the best years of my life. You gave me running commentary on my paycheck. That's cruel, she said. No, I replied. It's true. She paced, texted, called Tessa, left a voicemail that sounded like I'd slammed a door. I hadn't. After an hour of circles, she sank onto the couch and stared at me like I was a problem to solve. What do you want me to say? She asked. Nothing, I said. You've said plenty. You can't just file. It's not that simple. It is tomorrow at 9. You're serious. As a rent payment, I said. She let out a quick sound that might have been a laugh in nicer weather. You're the worst. That's a convenient story, I answered. But we both know who wrote it. She tried one more angle. I can change. You had months, I said. You used them to sharpen your jokes. Tessa called back. Aaron stepped onto the porch to answer. I heard parts. He's losing it, He packed my stuff. No, he's actually cold about it. What do I do? I didn't listen for more. I went to the bedroom and pulled 2 boxes from the closet. My documents, my photos, a handful of things that mattered to me in ways a price tag doesn't touch. I put them in the truck. When I came back in, Erin was in the hallway with her hand on the handle of one suitcase like it had weight she couldn't carry. You're really doing this? I am. She pulled a last card. If you leave now, you'll regret it. I regret staying this long. Her mouth opened and closed. For once, no line came out. She picked up her phone again instead. I locked the bedroom door behind me that night and slept on top of the covers. In the morning, I was at an office downtown at 9 with a folder and a pen. No drama. Paper treated me better than Erin had lately. It did its job without jokes. I didn't tell anyone at work. Luis caught it anyway. You walk different, he said at lunch. I'm lighter, I told him. Good, he said. Light carries heavy better. When I got home, Erin was gone. The car was gone too, the older one. The note I left was on the kitchen counter with a coffee ring. She'd underlined the line about the rent being covered. No message from her. No apology. No threat. Just silence. It was cleaner than I expected. That night I moved into the studio I'd rented 2 neighborhoods over. It's a small place over a barber shop with 2 windows and a view of an alley where pigeons conduct secret meetings. I set up a mattress, a table, and a lamp. I opened a beer, took a sip, and set it down because I had an early shift. It wasn't a victory lap. It was a reset. Erin texted around 11. You're cruel. You took everything. I replied, I took what's mine. You have the car in a month. That's called fair. She shot back. You're throwing away a marriage for pride. No, I wrote. For respect. You'll come back. No, I won't. You'll see you can't do better. I looked around the small room, the clean corners, the quiet. I thought about the parts of me that had shrunk to fit into her jokes, the way my shoulders had learned to round when the topic of money came up so the flames wouldn't lick as high. I sat up straight. Next day, Christine handed me the official letter and walked me through the details. You good? She asked. I'm great, I said. Good, she replied. You earned it. Hold it like it's normal. Luis slapped my back later. Drinks Friday, he declared. To boring things like pay raises and peace. Peace, I agreed. I'll drink to that. Erin tried a last maneuver midweek. Came by the studio uninvited. I opened the door halfway, didn't step aside. Can we talk? She asked. We just did, I said. Face to face, she insisted. This is my face, I answered. What do you want to say? Let's start over, she said quickly, words running. I'll get a job. I'll sell the stuff I don't use. We can plan something. A trip. You know. A new memory. No, I said. She blinked. That's it. No discussion. We discussed it for months. Out loud. At dinners. In cars. In front of our friends. You made sure there were witnesses. I was joking. You were telling the truth in a way you could deny. She tried to push the door wider without touching it, like she could will space open. Please don't do this. Erin, I said, you wanted more money. You got more of me instead. It annoyed you. Now you've lost the part you thought would just stay while you chased the other part. You're going to be alone, she snapped. Better alone than disrespected, I replied. Her chin lifted. You're going to miss me. I'll miss who I met, I said. She left a while ago. For a second, I saw something crack. Then she stapled herself back together, looked me up and down like I was a display model, and turned down the hall without a word. I closed the door and knew with the kind of knowing that isn't dramatic that I'd made a clean cut. 2 weeks later, I moved into a small house on the edge of town. Nothing fancy. 2 bedrooms, a garage big enough for a workbench, a yard I could cut in 40 minutes. I bought a secondhand grill and a couple of folding chairs. I called Dan and Tessa to decline their next event, and I didn't explain. I texted Paula my new address because I liked the idea of at least one neighbor who wouldn't pretend not to see. Luis came over with a bag of plastic plates and a 6-pack and said, "This is how grown men redecorate." We ate burgers and talked about ordinary things. Nobody poked my salary, and nobody tried to hand me a purse link. I met someone in line at the hardware store a month later. Julia, health tech, divorced, 2 kids who live with their dad half the week. She picked up screws and a gallon of paint and gave me a look like she recognized the species of man who carries his own boxes. We didn't rush. Coffee first. Then a walk on a Sunday by the river where we talked about everything adults talk about when they're not pretending to be the couple their friends expect. When I told her what happened, I kept it short. She didn't flinch or pitch me a speech. She said, that wasn't about things. That was about power. I liked her more for not making it poetry. Work kept moving. Night shifts fit me. Less chatter, more results. Numbers improved. Christine said, keep this up and we'll make you day shift lead in a year. I nodded and said I was available for whatever built a better life. I meant it. Erin sent 2 more texts over the next month. One said she'd found an apartment. The other asked if I could float her part of the deposit. I answered the first with a thumbs up. I answered the second with, no? She didn't reply again. Through people who know people, I heard she was living smaller than she liked, complaining about landlords and neighbors and discount stores. I didn't gloat. I didn't send screenshots to Luis. I just took a long look at the quiet of my house and cooked myself dinner with the old pan I'd always liked. On a Friday, Luis came by with his girlfriend and a board game nobody really wanted to play. We played anyway and laughed at how bad we all were. Saturday morning, I met Julia for breakfast at a diner with cheap coffee and waitresses who remember your name by the second week. She looked around my place that afternoon and said, you did all right. I agreed. It's enough, I told her. And enough is good. A month after that, I saw Tessa at a grocery store. She tried to pivot like she hadn't seen me. I didn't make it hard. I waved and kept moving. She caught up. So, she said, I heard you moved. I did, I answered. Errands, you know. I don't, I said. And I don't need to. She misses you, Tessa offered. She misses the old deal, I replied. I canceled it. Tessa pursed her lips. You could have tried harder. I tried long enough, I said. Then I acted. She rolled her eyes, a move I knew well. Well, good luck. I already have it, I told her, and meant it. I came home, set the groceries on the counter, and looked around. Light through the blinds, a house that smelled like things I'd actually cooked, a garage where the tools sat in a line like soldiers who knew their rank. My phone buzzed. A photo from Julia. She'd finished painting her office. The caption said, don't laugh, I did it myself. Looks good, I texted. Want help with the shelves? Yes, she wrote. Also dinner Tuesday? I smiled. Tuesday was open. Most days felt open in a way I hadn't felt in years. Not empty. Available. I didn't keep the purse link. I didn't need the trophy. I kept the lesson. When someone tells you what you are to them, believe it and adjust your role accordingly. I'm not a complaint department. I'm not a running tab. I provide. I lead. I listen when the people around me speak like adults. I exit when they don't. Before bed that night, I stepped into the yard and listened to the quiet. No applause. No fireworks. Just the kind of silence that lets a man hear his own thoughts without a laugh track on top. I sent one last message to Erin in my head, the kind you send when there's nothing left to say out loud. You wanted more. You had enough. You burned it to chase smoke. If you're looking for a grand finale line, I didn't give her one at the door. I gave her the one I live now. When respect leaves, I do too. And I don't circle back to see if it found its way home. I lock the door behind me, cook my dinner, and meet people who understand that enough isn't an insult. It's a standard.